Cells in everyday life. Organelles within cells and what they do to help the cell survive. The nucleus controls the cell. It also holds the DNA. The cell membrane. Insane in the membrane. The cell membrane surrounds the animal cell, and on the plant cell, it is inside of the cell wall. The cell membrane is known as a selective barrier because it lets good things in and bad things out. The Golgi body sends things outside of the cell membrane. The endoplasmic reticulum, also known as the ER. The ER is a passageway of hallways that sends proteins to and from the nucleus and to the Golgi body for package and delivery. Ribosomes surround the ER to create proteins for delivery through the hallways. Next up, we have the Golgi body. The Golgi body is like a mailroom. It sends water, waste, and proteins and packages and delivers them for later use, either sending them to other organelles in need or shipping them outside of the cell through the cell membrane. Now we have the mitochondria, also known as the powerhouse. In a plant cell, the mitochondria convert sunlight into energy from the chloroplasts. In an animal cell, it converts protein into energy. Next we have the ribosome. Ribosomes' main and only job is to create proteins for later use of energy. They are mostly found around the ER because the ER sends the proteins throughout the cell. Next we have the lysosomes, also known as the cleanup crew. The lysosomes use chemicals to break down waste that can be used later as recycling. Lysosomes are kind of like janitors. Now we have the vacuole. The vacuole is basically a storage room for the cell. It holds water, food, and waste to be later sent out of the cell or used for organelles' need. Now we have the cell wall. The cell wall is only found in plant cells. The cell wall is made out of a fiber called cellulose fiber, which is wood is made out of. The cell wall supports plant cells. Now we have chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are also only found in plant cells. Chloroplasts act as solar panels because they capture energy from the sun to be sent to the mitochondria, which creates energy for the cell. Now that you know what all the organelles are and what they do, we will move on to the cell reproduction. In cell reproduction, the cell divides into two cells after a series of phases. These two cells that the one cell has divided from is called daughter cells. Now, we all started out as one singular-celled organism in our mother's stomachs. Now, how we got there, I'm not going to go into detail. But over time, through the process of cell reproduction, we've grown into who we are today. We grew from a single-celled organism to a multi-celled organism, and then to a lump, and then to a larger lump, and soon we created organs and other parts of our bodies, and then soon we came out of our mother's Now to the first part of cell reproduction, phase 1, interphase. Interphase is when the cell gets ready for cell reproduction. It gets all its organelles in check, stores lots of proteins and energy, and then copies its DNA. Now we have stage 2, metaphase. Now in this stage, there are many phases within it. In mitosis, there are 4 stages: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Now we have the first phase of mitosis, prophase. In prophase, chromatins condense into chromosomes. Each rod in a chromosome is an exact copy of all the others. Now we have the second stage in mitosis, metaphase. In metaphase, spindle fibers attach themselves to the centromeres of the chromosomes. The centromeres hold the chromatin together. Now we have the next stage in mitosis, stage 3, anaphase. In anaphase, the spindle fibers shorten and the centromere splits. And now for the final stage in mitosis, telophase. 2 new nuclei are formed in telophase. The spindle fibers disintegrate. And now for the final phase of cell reproduction, cytokinesis. In cytokinesis, the cell actually divides into the 2 daughter cells. Now, cytokinesis works differently for which type of cell you're looking at. In plant cells, a membrane forms in the middle of the cell, with each nuclei on each side. The membrane eventually forms into a wall, and the cell splits in half. In the animal cell, the cell squeezes itself in half. This is how we grow. Our cells divide and divide until we grow old. Around every 10 hours, your cells divide. This concludes my video.